Caregiving can sometimes feel like an impossible struggle. Caregivers may be torn between taking care of loved ones and trying to maintain balance in life. The good news is that it doesn't have to be that way. The Caring Generation with host Pamela D Wilson is here to focus on the conversation of caring. You're not alone. In fact, you're in exactly the right place to share stories and learn tips and resources to help you and your loved ones. So now, please welcome the host of The Caring Generation, Pamela D Wilson.
I'm Pamela D Wilson, caregiving expert, speaker, consultant, and guardian of the Caring Generation. Thank you for joining me for this week's show, episode 211. Before we jump into this week's topic, how to respond to persons with dementia who don't make sense. If you find this podcast helpful, please like it and follow it on your favorite podcast app. Your participation through likes and follows helps the show reach more people worldwide looking for hope, help, and support for their health or when caring for aging or elderly parents, spouses, other family members, or themselves. Any person with dementia can eventually lose their language skills. They may speak, and their words don't make sense. What can family members and friends do to maintain relationships that no longer rely on verbal or spoken communication? Some family caregivers with years of experience caring for a loved one can learn to read the body language and the expressions and the behavior patterns of the person with dementia. But this comes through time and it comes through experience. Not everyone can do this. Other family members or friends may not be as comfortable watching these changes of a loved one losing their ability to hold conversations as memory loss progresses. Many caregivers tell me family and friends disappear. Brothers and sisters and friends used to visit. Today, they don't call, they don't show up. It's almost as if an elderly parent's social circle and family disappear because they can no longer interact the way that family members or friends expect them to act. Disappearing family and friends can also happen when there's a lack of education about how to interact or talk to loved ones with dementia. If you are the caregiver, your skills have likely grown over time and through repetition. Honestly, some days it is trial and error. I know because I've been there myself. There are times when the primary caregiver accepts the responsibility of educating family and friends to help the person with dementia maintain routine activities and social interactions. In other situations, caregivers may want to protect loved ones from social embarrassment by limiting their social interactions. Persons with dementia can experience anxiety when being approached by people out in public who know them but who they no longer remember. Regardless of the situation, there is a huge benefit to maintaining social connections and conversations with other people as long as the interactions are positive. Isolating loved ones because going out may become more difficult isn't good for the person with memory loss, and it's definitely not good for the caregiver who also becomes isolated. When the person with dementia is isolated and living alone with a caregiver, family and friend interactions become even more important. Even if you feel uncomfortable visiting, think of your visit as giving the caregiver a break or making the visit about spending time with a loved one or a good friend. The visit becomes less about you, what you want, your interests, your expectations, and more about the person with dementia. Honestly, visits from family members and friends can be like a breath of fresh air. The person with dementia can tell their stories to someone who doesn't hear them every single day. Visitors may be more patient in helping a person with dementia try new activities. Maybe visitors bring activities with them that don't require talking. Even still, these interactions can help a loved one with dementia maintain the communication and the interpersonal skills they still have. Consider visiting a friend and taking a loved one out of the house, just to go for a walk in the neighborhood, go to the zoo, maybe go get ice cream on a hot day. The activities don't need to be big things. Routine activities can be wonderful. If you're not experienced in being with a person who has dementia and you go out, keep this person by your side at all times because they can wander off and get lost. Before you go out, ask the caregiver, is there anything I need to know? And take note. Physical activity is also extremely important for persons with dementia so that they can maintain their physical strength, their ability to walk, and physical coordination. While you may not think twice about walking, talking, and chewing gum, this combination of activities becomes very difficult for persons with dementia. So any type of physical activity that helps a person with dementia to be able to continue to walk and perform physical activities is good. Have them follow you in doing some simple exercises. Put on a sit and be fit class and do it with them. As memory loss advances, there can be uncomfortable moments if you don't know what to say when elderly parents or a loved one with dementia forgets your name or they don't know who you are. Don't make a big deal of it. Simply say, I'm your daughter Mary, or I'm your friend Fred. Persons with dementia can also have difficulty naming items. Did you ever have one of those days yourself? You're trying to remember something, and that word or idea just does not come. And then 5 minutes later, you remember. People with memory loss can think that an apple is an orange. When this happens, go with it. Don't correct them. The goal of spending time with a person with dementia is not about being right or trying to help a loved one remember or to correct what they're saying. It's more about creating a positive, loving experience. Persons with dementia repeat words. Maybe they have greater difficulty putting sentences together. When you interact with a person who has dementia, being extremely patient, kind, and compassionate is important. If you're anxious or worried or stressed, your loved one or friend with dementia may pick up on your body language and become anxious themselves. Smile, be relaxed in your interactions. Mirroring behaviors, as long as they are positive and calm, can be a good way to interact with loved ones diagnosed with memory loss without speaking. Remember the game Simon Says? Simon says, smile. Simon says, walk this way. Let's now talk more about mixing up words, which is often called word salad dementia. It's almost like tossing a bunch of words on a piece of paper into a bowl and then taking them out one after the other and trying to make a sentence. That sentence probably doesn't make sense. Why don't you give that a try? Your elderly parent may be pointing or looking at one thing and talking about something totally different. Word salad sentences may come out like, eat the cow on the table, the purple thing outside the window, babies drink trees, that bus runs fast up there. Because you're trying to make sense of these words and conversations from a person with dementia, this can be frustrating for you. Smile and put your arm around your elderly parent like you understand what they're saying. Give them a hug. Reassure them that you love them. That's all they really need to know. Did you ever consider that how you hear them talk may be how they hear you talk? There's no way to know. So at some point, as dementia progresses, words and conversations begin to mean less than personal interactions. Think about how you can interact and shift from verbal to nonverbal communication. How would you interact or communicate with people if you couldn't understand what they're saying and you can't speak or write? That's a tough question, isn't it? Imagine yourself in a foreign country. No one knows what you're saying. You have no idea what they're saying. Having memory loss might be like being dropped in a foreign country and not knowing the language. You're trying to find a street or a restaurant or your friend's house, and no one is helping you. Nothing is making sense. This can be what it's like for persons with memory loss. We really don't know. They can't tell us. What we do know is that helping persons with memory loss feel safe comforts them. So to create positive interactions without speaking, think of activities that don't require talking. Did your loved one play cards, hike, garden, woodwork, exercise, do crafts? Think of things that they might still be able to do or that you can modify to make them a little easier. Then there are the routine day-to-day things we've all done, like folding towels from the laundry. When I was a care manager and a guardian, I had clients who would take all the clothes out of their dressers or their closet, put them on the bed, and put them back. They were happy doing these activities, and they didn't remember that they did them the day before. My parents, when I lived at home, had a junk drawer where they put anything that didn't go somewhere else. Sorting through a junk drawer can turn into a fun and entertaining activity. Activity is more about being with the person than doing something that has some type of result or an outcome. Some family members create what's called a fidget mat or a fidget blanket, which is basically a piece of cloth, 12 by 12, 24 by 24, where you sew on buttons. You attach different types of cloth or other things like pipe cleaners to engage the hands and the senses. How many of you like to pop those bubbles in that plastic wrap that comes in a box when you order something? It's the same idea. Or how many of you have those squishy stress balls or just something sitting on your desk that you play with to calm yourself down? The idea is the same. Some persons with dementia carry around a stuffed animal or a doll for comfort. Playing music and dancing or singing can be an uplifting activity. Persons with dementia can sing songs when they may not be able to put a simple sentence together. Music memory is pretty amazing. Think of what happens when you listen to the radio. You hear a song from 20 years ago, and you can sing all the words. Music makes us happy. It lifts our mood. It makes us smile. Get up and dance with your elderly parent or your friend who has dementia. Train yourself to stop asking questions. No more questions. People ask questions because they don't know what to say or they want to start a conversation. That is off the table with a person who has advanced dementia. Put your expectations aside. Live in their world. Because as your loved one continues to lose conversational skills, the focus has to be more on nonverbal activities. If you're the caregiver, you can begin using visual clues. Put a plate down with food in front of your loved one. Rather than asking, "Are you hungry?" Make meals that involve finger foods, like crackers, cheese, cut up pieces of fruit, instead of making your loved one continue to use a fork, a spoon, and a knife, which can be difficult for persons with dementia who eventually lose their hand coordination. Walk with a loved one instead of asking them if they need to use the bathroom. Walk with them to the bathroom. They may not know, but if you take them and engage them in activities, they may remember what it is you want them to do. Hold hands when speaking to a loved one with memory loss. Smile, make eye contact, look happy. Offer hugs and reassurance. Sit next to them on the couch. Find ways to create a sense of physical and emotional connection. Anyone can learn to adapt their interaction skills to build interpersonal and social skills with another person. Small things you can do include humming, laughing, nodding or shaking your head, shrugging your shoulders, smiling, raising your eyebrows, blowing a kiss, winking, closing your eyes, shaking hands in agreement, repeating the alphabet one letter at a time, giving a hand massage, turning over picture cards on a table one at a time. Make memories while you still can. As memory loss progresses, your loved one will be able to do less and less. They will become less physically active and need more hands-on care. One day they may be unable to walk. Their caregiver will need and will truly appreciate any time you can give. So please visit. You have no idea how much the time you give will make a difference. Give your mom or dad a hand or a foot massage. Brush their hair. Put lotion on their skin. These little things mean so much, and they will help the person who's the primary caregiver. If your loved one moves into a care community or a nursing home, visit, even if it's only for half an hour a week. You never know how much seeing you or having you around makes a difference for them. Even if there are no more conversations, play some music, dance, sit and read a book, even if they're napping. Your presence alone can make a difference. Get to know the staff in the care community. Staff who know that family members and friends visit are more likely to be attentive to the residents. Visit on a regular schedule. And most of all, give a big kiss and a big hug before you leave. Because you never know when that last goodbye will happen. I thank you all so much for being here with me for episode 211 of the Caregiving Generation podcast. Please like and follow the podcast on your favorite app. Share it with others you know who are seeking hope, help, and support. The show transcript, along with this podcast and a video, are on my website at PamelaDWilson.com. Go to the media tab and then the Caring Generation podcast. Scroll down for episode 211. I'm Pamela D. Wilson, a caregiving expert, advocate, and speaker. You're with me on the Caring Generation. I look forward to being with you again soon. God bless you all. Sleep well tonight. Have a fabulous day tomorrow and enjoy each day until we are here together again.
Tune in each week for the Caring Generation with host Pamela D. Wilson. Come join the conversation and see how Pamela can provide solutions and peace of mind for everyone. Here on Pamela D. Wilson's The Caring Generation.